Good morning, all. Oh, I ache today. Went to the gym yesterday. Second session. Oh, pushed a little bit harder as you do. It's a good ache though, and I'm really enjoying it. And if it can get rid of some of this, that will be brilliant. So, this morning I'm going to give a few thoughts on the Ukraine situation. I've been watching it and following it, not closely, and sort of picking up 50% news, 50% what's happening on the social media. I mean, there's a saying, isn't it? All wars are propaganda wars. But this is the first war fought on social media as well, or where social media has been used as a propaganda tool. Well, maybe that's not strictly true, but certainly the first war where social media has been used as a propaganda tool to such a great extent. And the Ukrainians are most definitely winning the social media war. But this is the other thing as well. Let's turn out the way the washing basket and move that. From what I can gather from watching, the Russian army is more or less a conscript army. The commanders and the officers might be time served, but a lot of the infantry and boots on the ground at the moment are conscripts, and they're just not into it. Without Googling, I don't know how long Putin has been leader of Russia. I think it's about 30 years. I think it was early 90s when he rose to power. So he's been leader of Russia for 30 years, and I know there was a time when he stepped down and he became prime minister and someone else became president, and that was all just so, you know. He sold Russia on this proud and strong nation. You know, the Russians should have a pride in who they are, and they're very macho men and all the rest of it. You know, treats its women horribly, and it's called Mother Russia. You know, we call it Mother Russia, but you know, it's a really misogynist, sexist type of country from what I can gather. So he's built up this fantasy, this image, this idea. We Russians are the best, Russian men are the best, we're the strongest, we're the fittest, we're the fastest, we're the most virile, blah blah blah. And then when it's coming down now to the practical application of this and what's happening, it's not happening. I mean, apparently as well he's leading from a bunker, which is definitely the opposite of the president of the Ukraine, who is leading from the front lines kind of thing. And whether that's propaganda as well, but you can certainly see, you know, leading from the bunker is the equivalent of hiding in a fridge to avoid a few questions. And this is the other thing as well, and this is what I think. Putin arrested all the oligarchs. He threw them all in prison, and he said, "You give me half of what you've got, and I'll let you go free." And 99% of them did. I think a couple did actually die in prison or die in mysterious circumstances. But 99% of the oligarchs gave over half of what they'd attained to Putin. And he was a strong, despotic leader then. He's not so much now. And I think that's going to be a... how can you say? If somebody takes him out, it may be a member of his own inner circle. Or it may be someone who's got the money and the means to do it. Someone who's still a billionaire. And, you know, is rankling that half their billions were taken away. I think that's what's going to happen. Or he'll pull out of the Ukraine, but behind the scenes deals will have been made to facilitate the withdrawal. You know, NATO and the UN would have said, okay, you know, we'll leave you alone for well, basically forever, but it normally means about 10 years, doesn't it? And, you know, you can do what you want on all the rest of it, or we'll give you, or, you know, you can sell your oil at an inflated price to Germany and the nations dependent on. There'll be a deal, you know, there'll be something done. It'll lose face, but it'll gain money. In the meantime, people are dying. But then again, like it's coming up, you know, airstrikes. There's not just like one war going on at the moment, and there's not just like one lot of airstrikes or missile strikes or whatever going on at the moment. There's wars all over the northern hemisphere that haven't stirred up this much passion in the media. I mean, you know, we could go into the whole Israeli-Palestine thing. Yeah, there are parallels between Russia and the Ukraine and Israel and Palestine. But, you know, I'll leave you to figure that one out for yourselves, because if you start going down that route, you know, a nation that just decides it wants to annex another nation next to it, they've been, you know, treated second nation citizens like shit. Yeah. And there's other ones as well going on. And then you've got the whole China, which have been very quiet on this, and they are just sitting back and watching, and they're looking at Taiwan. And this is where it gets very, very thingy, because Russia has to lose this war. We have to be driven out of the Ukraine. Or else China are going to look at Taiwan and say, well, they did it, we can do it. You know, North Korea looking at South Korea going, what's going to happen here? So what's going to end it? I don't know. The death of Putin, maybe. I mean, if he does decide to use nuclear weapons, which is a slight possibility, you know, the whole world will turn against him, and it will weaken them as well. First of all, the Russian nuclear arms. Well, there's no profit in owning nuclear weapons, is there? It's not like owning an airline or owning a coal mine or owning a gas pipe. You know, they just sit there for years and years and years, and then eventually you might want to use one. So it's been the state that's been maintaining them weapons, not the oligarchs. What are you calling it? Yeah. Bottom line is, would you trust to push the button on a missile in a silo that's been barely maintained for the past X number of years, and trust it not to blow up on launch or not to fall out of the sky on your own soil? Or we even trust the damn thing to go off when it hits the Ukraine. And then what? The Ukrainians are saying, well, we've got a nuke now as well. This is a propaganda war. Yes, people are dying, I understand that and I accept that. But it's definitely a war of propaganda. And at the moment, the Russians are losing. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day.